Check, check, check. Mic 1, 2.
Check. Somebody write a check.
What's up, everybody? Annibal here. You're watching Silo Talk. Today, we have a very special guest in the house. He is my brother. He is Johnny Murillo, the founder of Chicano Hollywood.
Yo.
Welcome to the show, brother.
Welcome to the show.
welcome.
What's up, brother? Thank you.
Chilling, man.
Thank you.
It's been a year, brother, since the last time we talked.
I know.
I mean, that's not true. We've talked a lot between now and the last year, but the last time you've been on the show. Yeah.
No, you've been blowing up, too. That's what's been cool about
I've just been grinding, brother.
Dude, it's cool, you know, and when I share your stuff, I'm like, where's he at now? Look at that studio.
Yeah.
All that. You got all this going on. So this is amazing, bro.
Yeah. It's crazy how I came to this location.
You're acting. Jeez, that's doing amazing, bro.
Oh, thanks, brother. That's because of you.
No, well, jeez. And you're getting coached by Alex, right?
Alex Alfaro. Yeah.
Alex Alfaro, if you want to be coached, I always recommend Alex and Charlie Boone. And both those guys, Chicano guys, are both amazing. They are changing futures. People that want to get in the game, they're taking them, like, you know, from the streets to the set, like what Alex does. And then, you know, you don't not have to be from the streets, but anybody. So when people always hit me up, I said, hit these guys up. So I'm glad you did.
Yeah, brother. So I met Alex at a Chicano Hollywood event.
Yeah.
You know, it was the training event. It was at the Quixote Studios in Pacoima.
Yeah.
And he was teaching the acting class. Nice. And I took the class because I want to be an actor and I wanted to pursue it. And when I met him, I'm like, oh, this guy's great. You know, so I reached out to him. I took his one-on-one classes. I think it was like 16 weeks that, or no, how many? It was like 10 weeks, I think, that we trained. And he's amazing, man. He's a great acting coach.
And you're doing it right. I was with someone earlier today. We did another podcast, and I won't say who because he's a homie. But, you know, he wants me to help him and manage him and so on. I was like, I'm not going to manage you, but I will help you.
Yeah.
And the first thing I said was, are you taking classes?
Yeah.
If you're not taking acting classes, then let's stop talking.
Yeah.
You know, and he's a homie though, but he also help him. But it's so important that people that want to get in this game, you always have to be training. It doesn't matter if you're videographer, if you're whatever it might be, you're on the crew side, you have to be working your hands. People that want to be in front of the camera, you have to be doing scene study. You have to be doing group stuff. I mean, so you're doing it right. That's what I love about it, you know?
Yeah, I think most people, when they want to aspire to be something, you know, if they don't have any training for that craft, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to actually pursue anything. It's like, I work with a lot of MMA promotions, fighting promotions, and you'll see like on Instagram people that want to be fighters, but they don't take any classes. And for people that are actual training athletes, training fighters, they'd be like, oh man, this dude's going to get destroyed in the ring. It's like, he's going to get hurt. Yeah. And this is the same thing for acting. Like if you don't know, you know, how to act and how to, you know, find your method to become that character, then it's going to show on the screen.
Oh, totally. And the thing about it is there's a saying that one bad actor can ruin your whole project. Yeah. So as producers, it's like, or directors, it's like, wait a minute, who is this person? You know, let's look at their reel, let's look at their auditions, all that kind of stuff, because you know, one of the mistakes that producers made in the last 20 years or 15 years is they started bringing in these influencers. Yeah. You know, they got 1 million followers. It'll be great for the movie. Yeah. And then they bomb and they're terrible. Yeah. And then it was worse for the movie, you know, and then they get embarrassed, so they never share it. Yeah. So it backfires on everybody. So to me, I don't care how many followers you got. Are you in training? Let me see your auditions. If you don't qualify, I'd rather bring up someone that has the skills and they tell a story, because ultimately the audience doesn't want to be distracted by a bad actor. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So that's how the game has to be. They can't be like, but they have followers. Yeah.
When you go watch a movie, you want to suspend your disbelief. Yes. You know, you know that they're acting, but you don't want to know that they're acting. You know, you want to be in the movie.
And once you find that out, you're done.
Yeah. As soon as you see a bad actor and it pulls you out, you're like, oh, this movie sucked.
Yeah. And then you walk away with like, man, the movie was okay, but that one actor blew it all. You know, and then
it's difficult too, man. Like I didn't realize. I thought like, man, because I'm pretty confident and pretty much anything I do, you know, I go into it like, oh yeah, this is gonna be great. But then once I actually started doing the process of acting, it is difficult, man. Yeah. It is very, very difficult.
There's a vulnerability. Yeah. The best actors, the best ones, from the dudes to the ladies, they have found a source within them to make them vulnerable. That's when you can play any character.
Yeah. So for people that don't know much about acting, there's schools. There's schools of acting, just like there's schools of fighting. In fighting, you do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You go to a BJJ gym. There's boxing. There's kickboxing. There's Muay Thai. There are different styles of fighting that'll teach you a combat, a skill, right? In acting, there's different schools of acting.
Different styles, theories.
Meisner. There's method actor, Stanislavski, there's Adler, there's this, there's that. They're all teaching you how to become a character and how to authentically, act out a scene to emote a certain feeling, right? Yeah. And, and if you don't have those skills on how to be authentic, then it's going to be very, very bad for you.
And how to respond to is acting and reacting. That's one thing. When I started off as an actor.
That's right.
And I sucked at it.
Really?
I don't like the audition process. I don't like any of that stuff, But I do remember the training I took, and there's still some tools that I still use today. And the idea of reacting to acting, and the other thing is memorizing the script, because the professionals. And you see them, the A-listers, they memorize the whole script. Yeah. They'll know your lines. Yeah. And if you say a line that's not right, they'll stop. See, that's not the line. Yeah. And you're there like, man. And so you have to approach this. You got to walk into like, okay, I want to do well at this. You got to walk in giving it everything. If you could do that, it's going to work for you. Yeah. Yeah. That one word you said that was struck a chord was the vulnerability. And I found it hard, to be vulnerable, to let my actual emotions out, but once I found the process of how to do it, then I was like, oh, okay, I understand it now. How you can tap into it.
Yeah, that's the work that you have to do. And that's what Alex Alfaro taught me, how to make the choices to actually feel those emotions. So I'm not acting like I'm crying. I'm freaking crying. Yeah. I'm not acting like I'm mad. I'm pissed off. Yeah. I'm not acting like I'm sad.
Alex will do that to you. It gets in your head, and then you're like,
I've seen him make a bunch of people cry,
Yeah. He works with Bernice from the streets to the set.
Oh yeah, she's awesome too.
And they're getting these hardened guys from the hood that are now they're used to all their life being hard and tough. Yeah. And then they get them in front of an acting class, and they have to be vulnerable. Yeah. That's why when you see them, I admire them so much, because they are tapping in hard, and then you see them crying. Yeah. And I've seen some of the guys at some of the stage plays they've done, they're actually dropping tears like, man, that guy was a real gang member, now look at him. Yeah. That girl, she was freaking hard, now look at her. And they've been able to tap into that. So the skill that those guys have to be able to get people to the point where they are now, it's amazing.
It is, man. Like, I want to give a huge shout out to that whole organization there, both Alex Alfaro, Bernice, Blanca, Chola Vision. They are really, really, really giving back to our people, to our community, to Raza, to Chicano Hollywood. No, they're killing because they are teaching us the art that is going to allow us to share it to the world. So this show here kind of revolves around two things. That's art and mental health. And the way that I look at art is therapy. What you can't say, you will sing, you will dance, you will paint, you will act, right? And everything that I'm doing is a representation of my art form, my philosophy. And I feel that everybody that's within the Chicano Hollywood movement is an artist in their own right, whether they're actual writers, whether they're actors, whether they're producers. They are trying to find their own healing through their art form. And your own art will heal you, and it will heal others. So the stories that I want to share, there are people's stories, right? And who's better to share them than our people?
Oh, we have to. That's it. Big thing is that people say, we got to change the narrative. We got to change the narrative. And when you listen to them, the narrative that they want to change is ours. It's like, wait a minute. It's usually people that are not Chicano. Yeah. They're Latinos, and they're like, no, we don't want to be identified as the gang members and the lowriders and the taco guys and the maids and the gardeners. I'm like, wait a minute, you're talking about my family.
Yeah. So, hey, my dad's a taco man.
Yeah. I mean, you want to change the narrative. You're talking about my story. So I'm like, no, I'm going to own the narrative. Yeah. I'm going to write the stories with layers. I'm going to write the stories where they make sense, not where they're just animals. So that's super important. So I'm not. The narrative is there, but it's my narrative.
Yeah, that's what I also don't like hearing. you know, because I understand what they're saying. Like in major films, you know, the raza that they cast is the lawnmower guy, but you're not going through his life story. He's just a background character cutting the lawn. Yeah. The taco man, it's a Mexican American guy who's the taco man, who's the this, the that, the traditional roles. But the story is not about them. The story is about other people in this film. I think his story is probably very impactful if you actually went deep into it.
Exactly. We have to go deep. There's layers with our people, you know, and we have to be able to, show those, peel them back.
Yeah.
If we don't, they're not going to do it.
Yeah, man. I think your movement, Chicano Hollywood, was a big catalyst to me deciding finally what it is that I wanted to do with my life. Nice. Like I say this a lot, that I've had a lot of titles, you know, and general manager, you know, real estate agent, you know, salesperson, this, that, the other. But at my core, I am an artist and a philosopher, and I want to make a living out of my art form, you know? And the reason why I have this show is because I like to collect. I like to collect interesting stories and interesting individuals. Just like people out there, when they have a bunch of money, they want to collect art. They want to collect a Picasso. They want to collect this. Well, I like to collect interesting stories and interesting individuals. And the ways that I do that is that I talk to people and I find out why.
Yeah.
Why do you do this, Johnny? Why did you decide to be a pastor? Why did you decide to start Chicano Hollywood? Why? And until I go like, I get it. Yeah. Once I get you, then I have captured your essence. Nice. Then now I can share that essence to the world in a cinematic format.
As soon as you capture it, let me know why I'm doing all this crazy because it's crazy. I'm like, what am I doing?
That's everybody, bro. We're all trying to figure it out. You know, I wrote a little line yesterday because I saw this cool little clip of this guy jumping from a mountain, and it was kind of like snowing. And he was like, it wasn't a parachute. It was like this little device where he opens his wings and you fly. Like he literally would jump from a mountain.
Oh,
and he had like this, like these there, and he had like a flare on his foot, so it looked really cool. And he was like flying, like the snow was coming. And I said, living is learning to fall with grace or with style, you know. So we're all kind of trying to figure out what is going to work for us, you know. But when I started, you know, tapping into Chicano Hollywood, first I had you on the podcast. I went through your story of what caused you to create it, and then I went to the first Elevate conference, and I saw all the different actors. I saw who were the main actors that were there?
Edward James Olmos,
Louis Guzman, Emilio Rivera. Yeah. And it started to really open my mind to the possibilities of what is possible. Can I be a filmmaker? Can I be an actor? And I started to build up my belief system just being around these people. Like I never really thought about it before, you know?
Well, honestly, that's how I know you. I don't know you as a salesman. I don't know you as
that's interesting. My whole life prior to meeting you was a business professional. Yeah, you know, I have like a real estate license, lender's license, insurance license. I was in real estate for like 10 years. Like my background is sales and communication and talking to people. And, you know, but through all of that, behind the scenes, I was an artist. You know, I'm a musician. I do all kinds of different stuff. And when I was exposed to, you know, the movement, it opened me up to me like, man, maybe I can do this. Yes. And something happened. My mom had heart surgery, so I went to Minnesota. And when I was over there, my aunt was there with my mom, and she started telling me their story, their life story. Wow. And I was like, Jesus Christ, this is some dramatic ass shit. You know, this is powerful. Now I understand why my mom is the way she is. Now I understand why my aunt is the way she is.
The layers were peeled back.
The layers. Yep. I started listening to my dad's story, and I was like, holy hell, we have to share these stories. Yep. You know, these stories are very impactful.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And it's healing. So I was like, man, so that was the catalyst to me, like, I need to make a movie. Yeah. And then I interviewed Jeff Reyes, Echo's World, and I saw what he was doing. I was like, this is the guy that can help me tell this story. Yeah, he knows how to tell stories. He's an amazing cinematographer. Then I talked to Chris Leva. He's like, this is a great director. I love his energy.
I was just with him last night. 2 nights ago. With him.
Yeah, I was like, and I was like, these are the guys that I want to make a film with. Yeah. And I started to think like, you know, how much is it going to cost? What do we have to do? I started like brainstorming. I was like, you know what? I have a large network of very successful people that believe in me, you know, and if I Like I tell people, like I could be homeless, but I could sleep in a mansion tonight. Yeah. I just call up my homie, hey, Art, can I sleep in one of your mansions that you're not living in?
Wow.
If my car breaks down, I can call someone, hey, let me borrow your Lamborghini, let me borrow the, like, there's people that trust me. So I was like, you know what? In order to make something big, you can't do it yourself. Yeah. You need a group of people.
Oh, especially in this industry. It's not a, you know, there are videographers, which are amazingly skilled people, where they shoot, direct, edit, they do everything, but they're not doing a full-blown movie. There's only a few people that I know that can actually do that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's all of us coming together, and we have to lean on each other. There's different lanes going on. There's producers, executive producers, directors, writers, PAs.
Yeah, I didn't even know this. I thought it was just like a producer, and then I talked to my entertainment team. He's like, what kind of producer? What kind of what kind of this? I was like, I don't even know.
Line producer, UPM. I mean,
there's so many.
Ones.
And there's like, and sometimes they'll say they're this type of executive producer, but they're really not.
Yeah,
they're a different type. They're like, so you got to really know the business.
There's the guys that put the money in.
Yeah,
they don't know jack about the industry, but they put the money in. There's the guys that know everything about the industry, and they pull pieces together and so on like that. And then there's guys that, for some reason, they still get the title. Who knows what they did, but they got the title. You know, maybe they own the company or something like that. But there's a lot of them. There's associate producers, which they didn't do nothing, but maybe they introduced somebody, so you give them that credit. There's all kinds. So whenever you see associate producer, it's like, oh, they didn't do nothing.
Yeah, that's funny.
They connected somebody, which is cool.
Yeah,
they get a credit.
So like, so because of you, I got to finally find a process to my own healing, because this whole thing started for me because of a healing process. I went through a very traumatic experience. I think most people did during the pandemic. During the pandemic, it felt to me like my whole world was flipped upside down. You know, and not only because of the pandemic, there was a lot of other circumstances in my life that had led me to be completely lost, you know, and it got down to the point where I was like, this is it. I didn't even want to live anymore, you know, and in that darkness, in that suffering is where I kind of found myself, and I found exactly what I wanted to do. And that's when I started my business, which is called Dreams to Reality. And the business name Dreams to Reality is my movement. Is just like Chicano Hollywood is yours. Mine is Dreams to Reality. And my goal is to help people turn their dreams into reality, whatever they are, whether they're aspiring actors, producers, direct. I want to help you turn your dream into reality of creating Chicano Hollywood into the biggest platform, right? For Chicano Raza entertainment. And the way that I knew how to do that was like, well, let me give them a platform to speak to the world, to share their story. This podcast. Let me tell stories. Now I can do commercials. I can do movies. I can do different things.
Yeah, that's what you're doing now.
That's what I'm doing.
You got all this gear too. It's amazing.
Yeah, I got this giant studio. This is the Coin Academy. And it's kind of weird when, you know, things started to flow in the right way just through a shift in my mindset, you know? So I feel that you can definitely attract what it is that you want, but it takes a lot of work. You know, it's like, I call it like, it's like an avalanche. You know, it starts little pebbles rolling, and like, it might not seem like much.
Snowball.
And then eventually it becomes a big old ball, and then it becomes an avalanche.
It's so important. You got to put the work in. If you don't, you might have an idea. Like, I get this now, and I remember Bernice from the streets was telling this to me too, that people DM and just say, hey man, get me in. That's it.
That's funny.
It's like, what do you mean get me in? What does that mean? You know, I got this the other day. I'm interested. That's it. That's all. The email. I'm interested. Interested in what? So people assume that, oh, I want to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm here. And they assume that all of a sudden they can just get in the game when they've never done anything to prepare, train, anything like that. So you got to put in the work. Like if you put in the work, you're going to be somewhere. Now you got some great things happening, but you put in the work, and that's what it takes.
Yeah. And, you know, as I've been going through this process, I get to these points that are like little barriers, right? And I see like, oh, this is why people don't pursue this thing. So what I tell people is like, if you want something, prepare, because you're going to be challenged. You're going to be tested. And the reason you're tested is because you can't have a testimony without a test, right?
Exactly,
you can't succeed without some obstacles to overcome. Some few people are lucky, quote unquote, but from my experience, even the people that are lucky years and years of stuff that you didn't see them do
preparation
for them to become lucky.
Yeah, there's no such thing as an overnight success, especially in this business.
Yeah.
And then in the idea of like, you might, like an actor, they might make a ton of submissions and they don't get anything.
Right.
But it's not because they don't have the skill. As long as they train themselves and they've done all that, it's probably because they don't have the look. Like I just told you, that a friend of mine asked me, she's a casting director. She says, hey, I need a grandfather for a music video for an A-lister, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll do it just for fun because I used to do acting. I said, but it's just on Zoom now. I'm not on Zoom. It's just, submission video, right? Yeah. So I did it, and then I submitted to it, and I'm like, it was for a grandfather role, which I am a grandfather. I have 5 grandkids, but I'm like, why didn't you say the father role? But no, the grandfather role. So I didn't get it, right? And I hit her up, said, what's up, man? I was waiting to get on set today. Yeah. And she starts laughing. No, they said you were too young. I was like, oh, heck yeah. So I took it as a compliment.
That's a good rejection.
But so I got rejected because I didn't fit what they saw. And that's fine, writing, I like to write comedy, action, drama, but there's some genres that I'm not good at, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not good at horror, not a thriller, maybe a little bit thriller, but so my styles are like, okay, let's go, I'm going to write it this way, but it might not be what they want. So it's okay. You get someone else. And directing, the same thing, directors have to work with the talent and they have to tell a story through the actors. But what have they directed before? And maybe that's not the one. So you just got to be honest with yourself and know what your lane is and you go with it, So
like, I won't get too deep into what the exact project that I'm working on right now, the film, but I'm a method creator. Like I have to feel it to be able to share it. Yeah. So one of the characters is a fighter. So I grew up boxing from like when I was a kid, from like 8 years old to like 15. So I knew boxing, but this whole MMA game with like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, like I had no experience in it. Yeah. So about 6 months ago, I went straight into it. Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, all of this. And it was like a slap of reality in your head. Like, holy hell, bro. Like you're not 20 years old anymore. Like I'm 35, So my back's hurting, my legs are hurting. I tore my calf, dislocated my shoulder, injuries, like, and you're like, do I really want to do this, right? And that pain is what's going to be the deciding factor whether you really want to do this thing or you don't, right? And I think that's the differentiating factor between people that accomplish their goals and people that don't. Their ability to take rejection, their ability to take failure, their ability to suffer, and persistence and persist, regardless of it. And the hardest part is that you have to do it regardless of how you feel. Yeah. That's what I've noticed. What a professional is. It doesn't matter if they're happy, sad, hungry, full, whatever you're feeling. When it's action, it's action. We're gonna go, and we're gonna go full force, letting go. So my artistic process has become two processes. The first one is trying to find complete relaxation, relax, take out everything, and then from that point, I just let go and allow what's gonna happen to happen. Because but even in my interviewing, it's improved a lot because I've started to let go and let the interview go where it goes. Before I would have the whole interview in my head. Boom, boom. I would have
my next question is
it would be in my head, and if the guest was like deviating, I would try to control and bring it back to this subject and I was like, this is not good. Maybe to other people they wouldn't notice, but I want to be the best at what I do. So I would study my own stuff, and then I would start to let go. And now I realize in letting go, everything just flows a lot better.
Nice.
It flows a lot better. Now, as far as Chicano Hollywood, you've been doing a bunch of stuff, brother. You've been doing a lot. So I really want to get into, what's next for Chicano Hollywood. I know right now you're doing the tour, the Chicano Hollywood tour. Yeah. We have the Elevate conference coming up again.
Coming up September 13th and 14th.
And there's, because I'm part of the filmmakers message board. Yeah. So I get all the messages, and I just saw that you have an affiliate program.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about, the projects that's going on with Chicano Hollywood, and a little bit about the affiliate program.
Yeah. So what we're doing, so where I'm at now with Chicano Hollywood, we're building the, our national presence now, because we have a lot of people that connect with us from across, what we all call Aztlán, which would be the Southwest states, Chicago, and so on. So these are people that I've known for, some for years. They've come to our events. They're one of us, they're familia. So for probably about 2 years, I've had people ask me, hey, how can I do what you're doing in our city? How can I do that for our filmmakers? And I'd be like, oh, yeah, we'll get something going here. So as we're coming into 2024, I'm like, okay, where am I at? I map it all out. I'm like, these are the things that we need to scale up. And number one was we have to just get our reach out. How do we start developing people? Because it's all about, for me, at the end of the day, if I know that I help someone get up at least one new level, to me, it's a win. They have to get up there, and then they have to be, I'll build a bridge for you. You get up on it, but then you got to go. You have to run. You have to do your thing. You have to study like you are doing, So creating that same atmosphere. I was super proud of the last few events we had. We had how to produce a commercial.
Right.
And that came out great. We had about 80 people there, and some separated to learn how to produce a commercial, some how to direct a commercial, some how to act, right? And then I had small businesses come, and they pitched to them. So it really came out great.
That's awesome.
So I walked away from them like, okay, this is a win because people have skills now. They can actually go out there and produce commercials or direct commercials. And then we did how to produce a reality show. Yeah. And I had Jason Martinez and his team come. These guys have done Amazing Race. They've done Cops. They've done Temptation Island, right? I mean, these guys are legit. These are all Chicano, Latino guys, right?
Yeah.
So they came and they taught I think it was about 70 of us there, how to produce a reality show.
Yeah.
And so people walked away from there like, I'm going to do a reality show on this and that. And I in Hollywood, people like hold their ideas back because they don't want to lose. I suck at that. I'm like, I had IG live. It's okay, guys. I'm going to give you all my ideas.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah, I threw them all out, right? And then at the event too, I had, this is what I would do. If I had the time, there was more of me, I would do these. But I'm not going to hold an idea back if someone else can execute it. So people will walk away like, hey, I'm going to do that. I'm like, do it. Go for it.
Yeah.
So people walked away with vision, with an idea, with a plan. They network, just like you've networked with people.
Yeah.
Now they're able to bring crew in and all that. So it's amazing because now people can actually start putting food on their table. If they execute it right, they can get some funding, get some jobs, get some stuff done, put food on the table, and continue to grow. And then they could, they can be full-time freelancers, right? So I was super proud of that. So I'm like, okay, how do we do that with those that aren't connected to Hollywood? The way things are now, you don't have to come here anymore. There are people making amazing movies, shows outside.
Yeah.
And now, not all of our people are, though.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how do we change that? So what we're doing now, we're doing a tour. And what I'm doing with this tour is kind of like how we started Chicano Hollywood, going on 3 years now, with a mixer. So like, let's get whoever wants to play. We just promote it on our social media.
Yeah.
And let's come together. So this last weekend, we were in San Diego. We had like 70 people show up.
Yeah.
A couple of people came from LA, which was great. And we had a couple of people come from Phoenix, which was great. And then we just had a great mix. We had a taco truck, some vendors, shared the vision, answered questions. It was just amazing.
That's awesome.
And this Saturday, we're going to Vegas. Vegas will be a little bit different. It's an invite only because my guy there, Rob, is like, let's do a strategic one. He's super strategic on bringing in the right people. So we have state senators coming in.
That's right.
Film Commission coming in. We have the Chamber of Commerce coming in. So we're going to have a more business structure.
He owns a production company out there, right?
Yeah. He has Wildcard Studios. So Robbie, and he taught for us at the commercial one. Remember that?
Yeah.
So we're going to strategize that one because Vegas is a different animal, right?
Yeah.
My guy in Chicago, Juan, almighty blessing, and he's still connected. Like, he got me on a Zoom a couple of weeks ago with the mayor of Aurora and the deputy mayor and the Chamber of Commerce. We all got on that Zoom, and they're like, we're excited for you to come. And I'm like, oh, man, yeah, shoot, what are we going to do there? It's going to be great. So each one of these guys have different contacts in their city. So I go with what they're doing already and just support. We got Dallas coming up. We have our guys in Phoenix that we've already established. We have Houston, and we have San Jose. So everyone's going to be a little bit different, but we're there to let them know we're here and how can we get underneath you and build you up. So Chicano Hollywood right now is we're expanding out. What will that do for our brand? It builds our brand up, know, and the next phase would be, let's bring out Jason over there and whoever else to train how to produce a reality, how to produce, how to be a DP, and we'll start training them there. We're still going to have our big training day here with Coyote Studios. Yeah. We still have that plan going on in the late fall.
When is that going to be?
That'll be we're looking at November again as well. What changes that if all of a sudden things blow up again and then all the venues all the studios are blocked, so that's fine. So right now, I think it's November 11th is our tentative date, or the 9th, whatever that Saturday is, right?
Yeah.
So we still, they're great partners and we're still building, going to keep doing what we're doing here, but I'm also going to be going out there and taking people,
Yeah.
I'm going to take Abe Martinez, I'll take Jason, I'll take people like, hey, let's go to Dallas, let's go to El Paso, let's train them. And that way people that are there can catch the vision. And this was funny too, because in San Diego, someone came up to me, they said, hey, yeah, we need to do stuff here because we're not out from LA. We don't all say homes.
That's funny.
It's true, it's true. So,
that's right, homie.
Yeah. We don't all say homes, So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So they're right. There's different, raza that have different cultural idioms.
Yeah,
and
there's
so
a Texan,
the
Tejanos,
the
Tex-Mex,
the New Mexicans, bro.
New Mexicans, they're Arizona.
They're all different. So we want to go in there.
We have a couple in Minnesota. My parents are up there. There's like 3 of us.
Minnesota, yeah, dude. I have messages from Denver, from New York, and Salt Lake City. All three said, when are you coming here?
Yeah.
So what I need to know is like, okay, who's there? Who's the leader? So every city we're targeting now, I have one key leader there. So I just need to find out who the leaders are.
Yeah.
So that we can go in there and then we can build them up. Right. So that's how we're building. We're launching into how to produce commercials because we want to really train people so they can make some money. There's big brands out there.
Yeah, we live in a different world, like even just, let's just talk films. No, I'm not even talking about like production of commercials and TV shows and all of that. Let's just say films. We live in a different era now. Like back, even like when I was a little kid, there was no streaming apps. There was no Netflix. There was no Hulu. There was no Paramount Plus and like all of these. There is so many outlets for content. That they need actors, they need writers, they need you.
Yes.
I think there's more a lack of artists than there is of platforms that will put your content out. So if there's platforms like Chicano Hollywood that are teaching aspiring actors, producers, writers, entertainers on how to create what they want to create, the money's there.
Yeah, and that's what people have to realize too. Like, okay, if you skill yourself, it's going to come. So one of the things that we're doing, I'm just building a relationship with a company called All Rights. And I've got a key guy there that we've been working together and their distribution. So you basically, like the Calypso show, we just did that. Just signed a contract for All Rights, and I'm going to put the Calypso show with them, and then
that's
they're
awesome.
Get it all over the place, right? So this is breaking news.
Breaking news.
I think I told Calypso. I don't think I told her yet. Anyways, breaking news. So
that's freaking awesome.
So
congratulations. Congratulations to Calypso too.
And we're putting a couple other originals that we have. So this is how streamers work. When Amazon Prime started, they just put all kinds of indie stuff on there. They're just grabbing anything, sticking it on there.
Yeah.
And then as they grew, then they had more funding. So they're like, okay, let's get more bigger projects that we can license.
Right.
As they grew from there, then they said, okay, let's start doing originals, an Amazon Prime original.
Right.
That's where the tick comes in because now they're doing their own stuff. And so like with our streaming app, right? I got stuff on there. It will always be that way because I always want a place for our raza to be, right? But then we are, I have some originals already. That's one Calypso show. We got that out. So we want to build to the point where we can do originals, and that's where we're able to create jobs for producers, directors, writers, because we do originals.
That's it.
Right now, like this Friday at 3:00, I have a Zoom with 4 other Latino-owned streamers that are coming up.
Wow.
One is already up. It's called Latino USA. They're with our partners in Phoenix, Gil Bivens. They're homies of mine.
Yeah.
And they're part of our ecosystem. And then there's 3 more that are coming up. One of them is also up already. It's with the Daily Chela with Brandon. He's a homie of mine too, and he might be on that call as well.
Yeah.
So there's couple other streaming apps that are popping up, which to me is like it's not a threat to me at all. Because I'm a producer.
Yeah.
And the more streaming apps we have, the more originals they're going to need. And that just creates more jobs for everybody.
That's it.
So I'm like, hey, let's get you up there. So I'm like, if anybody, I can, help people put their own streaming app together. As a matter of fact, me and Gil, we have the experience, we have the contacts, so we can actually help people do that because we're not afraid of it because it's not a bad thing for our film community. So if there was just one Chicano style That's not, there's too many of us.
Yeah.
There's too many. That means I only can cherry pick people. No. I'd rather have 100 so that everybody's working.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're growing, you know. And I know that when it comes to our investors, our income, I'm not worried about that. And they're not, you know, if you're a future investor, let's talk, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm not, to me, it's like, if you're down with the voice, if you're down with building Raza up, then let's build it up. And this is how we're going to do it in the entertainment space, which includes podcasters, influencers, and all that, you know.
Yeah.
So, and going back to the affiliate program.
Yeah.
So if you're following us on IG, go to the Filmers Update on top. You'll see a post that we did. So here we have our streaming app. We have our merch, support ChicanoHollywood.com, which is our merch. We have our master classes, and we have our magazine. We have all these things, right?
Yeah.
So the vision I have was how do we continue to build an economic ecosystem? So I've always seen affiliate marketing. I've studied it, so on. So like, okay, I'm going to put my own affiliates together. So right now we have about 32 people with large followings and some small followings that have said, I want to be a part of this. So we're going to use a platform. Right now I'm looking at Referral Rock.
Yeah.
Put all of our links on there. They'll make an account on that, and then they will be able to pull our links with it'll generate their code. They do social media, and then they'll be able to make some money as they sell. Hey, get on Chicano Hollywood TV. You'll be able to make some money there. And I want it to flow that way, you know, from between now and the end of 2024 with things coming up, they'll be able to make some money. And if I can help people just put Christmas presents under their tree, you know, man. I mean, I'm down with that.
Like, for me, I support everything that Chicano Hollywood does because, you know, I am Chicano and I back everything that you do. So that's great. I'm definitely gonna be part of that affiliate program because I'm always promoting all of the events anyways. You know, anybody that tells me like, hey, I want to be an actor, I want to do this, I want to do that, I refer them to Alex. I refer them to training events. I refer them to anything that's within that community. I refer them to it, you know, so I think that's great. That
and especially like the events, going back to that. So we're going to be launching our own ticket platform, kind of like Eventbrite.
Yeah.
Right now I have stuff on Eventbrite, but we're going to be launching our own. And that's going to be another way that people can help support if they want to put their tickets on that they can do it.
Yeah, like if you put together an event, use your ticket program to
use
sell.
ours, and then also people can make some money off that. They can get an affiliate link off of that, and then let's say if they sell, you know, 50 people that go on, they'll be able to make a couple bucks and pay for their own registration or something like that, you know. So the big thing behind it is people assume, bro, people say, man, I know you must be rich. I ain't rich. You don't know the sacrifices I've done and my family's been through, but we're all committed to this. So it's not about rich or not. It's like, this is our calling. This is what God told us to do. So we're going to do it. And does it take faith? Yeah, man. Does it take sacrifices? Yeah. I felt like I've been walking on water like Peter, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy, you know. But you know, to me, it's like, you know, if you're down with it, then lock arms with us and let's do it. You know, this summer's tour, right? So we just made this T-shirt, and it's really cool. It came out in the back, all those cities we're going to, and then Jesse from Bow Down told me, hey, you know, why don't you put sponsors on the bottom? I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. So we're gonna make another one. So now we're hitting people up.
Saw that. That's right.
You want to sponsor? You know,
you sponsor the event, have your logo there.
$1,000, get your logo on the bottom, and then we'll do some social media for you and do whatever. So I got a call from one of the guys in Las Vegas. He's a doctor, and he's like, hey, I want to be a part of that. And so I sent him an invoice. I got Dominic from Flores Barbecue. He is such a supporter. He's barbecue's amazing, but he goes to all our stuff. So Dominic's behind us, and then we have Latino USA, Roman and Gil. They're gonna get behind us on that. And Roman, people don't know this about Roman, but Chicano guy, you know, older man, old retired gentleman now, and he was the creator of Lord of the Rings.
Oh, really?
You know the orcs?
Yeah, the orcs.
Those crazy orcs.
Yeah.
Chicano guy made that guy. Made those
really?
orcs. Yeah, Chicano guy.
Oh, so he's like
artist, sculpture.
Yeah.
What
do they call those guys?
I don't know. I know the term.
Not graphics.
He actually molds them. He molds them and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He's So anyways, they're getting behind us on it. So, and to me, it's like, okay, because, you know, believe me, if I can just drive to every city, I would. But we got to fly to Chicago. We got to fly to Dallas. We got to fly to Houston, all that kind of stuff. But people are locking arms, and we're trying to give value back. But primarily, the value you're going to get is you're helping us change lives. We're helping people where you're at now. Now you're a filmmaker. Now you're a podcaster. To me, that's the reward right there. That's the trophy. Yeah. I don't need an Oscar. I just need more people like you.
Yeah. Everything you were saying, I was thinking of this quote when you were talking. It was like, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together as a group.
That's it, bro.
You know, so I think that's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're allowing our people to go further than we ever have before, because, you know, every culture, every group of people has like their one person, you know, like, oh, he made it, you know?
Yeah.
And then there's that whole mentality what they call like crab in the bucket mentality, where we're like holding each other back from accomplishing. In order for us as a people to grow and truly be fulfilled and just to heal ourselves, we have to unite and grow together, right?
I say this all the time, that the days are over when Latinos step on each other to get to the other side. We have to lock arms now and let's go together. That's the only way. And our voice will only get louder when there's more of us. That's why I'm training as many people as we can. There's going to be a time that we are mainstream.
Yeah.
It's not there yet. Now, you think about it. We're there as audience. Mm-hmm. You know, what's the Will Smith movie that just came out?
Bad Boys.
Bad Boys, right?
4.
You research that one, and they say it was because of the Latino ticket buyers.
We go to all the movies.
We go to those, right? We forgive. You slap
we
our
go
brother.
To the concerts. We go to everything.
We forgave Will for slapping homie, right? So it's like, okay, we're gonna watch these movies, but that was because of the Latinos that they made a profit.
Yeah.
So think about, we got 3.4 trillion. I was just given that number by Chicanos para la Causa, a guy in Las Vegas, a lawyer that's one partnering up with us.
Yeah.
He said we have 3.4 trillion buying power, purchasing power within the Latino community.
Yeah.
Dude, there's no reason why we should just be struggling. We just got to skill ourselves so that we can attract that economic ecosystem back to us. And that's what my mission is. That's why we're creating all this stuff. That's why we're partnering with small businesses and chambers, because let's pull that money back to where it belongs with us. You know? So maybe we're not going to reclaim Aztlán as a geographical territory, but we're going to reclaim the 3.4 trillion and say, okay, we're going to use this for us, and not just let it get siphoned and colonized out, So that's the mission,
I love it, man. I love the mission. I'm right there with you. And any way that I can support, I'm here to be a support for you guys.
This is great. Your audience, if your audience gets behind us, if they want to get behind us immediately, if you're a sponsor, you want to get behind us, send me your logo ASAP, because we're going to make those shirts. And then also, just go to our website, support. Our website is ChicanoHollywood.com, but our merch is supportchicanofilmmakers.com. Buy something. Buy a black T-shirt like this.
I got like 4 of them. I'm going to go buy some more, bro.
But that helps, because we're able to just keep on the road, and we got to buy airline tickets, because I want to bring part of the team there to go and share, so that I'm not just like a one-man band, So I'm like, okay, let me figure it out. So I told one of my team today, I said, just hold Saturday. Let me figure out how to get you there. And then I told her that today, and so they have it open. So I got to figure out how to get them there, but I'm okay with doing that, because it shows who we are, how strong we are.
Yeah,
people need to see that.
Yeah, they will, brother. You were right. It is a Chicano renaissance.
It's it, dude.
It's here, brother.
It's the time.
It's our time.
It's it. And if anyone that wants to jump in, now's the time. Don't wait, because if you wait, there's gonna be millions of us is what we want. But you need to get in there right now, skill yourself, so you can train other people.
That's it, brother. Well, again, I want to thank you, Johnny, for coming all the way down here to the Coin Academy in Pasadena, and sharing what your vision is and what you're doing. I'm right there with you, and we're going to make a movie, brother.
Yeah, we're gonna do it.
Let's do it. Thank you again,
brother.
All right, man.
Awesome. Good stuff. Post-COVID, all that.
All right, guys, make sure you subscribe to Chicano Hollywood app, their Instagram, follow, like, subscribe, all that good stuff.
If you're a freelancer, sign up for the Freelance Latino. We're going to get all Latino freelancers on there and start promoting that. So we got a lot going on.
Awesome. Great, guys. We'll see you guys next time.